And I would be like, can you please figure out like who he thinks are the hottest girls in his mind? Like ask him for like a ranking. My friend, she was like, you know, who do you find the hottest girls? And he goes, number 1, he says my name. That was a real change of being somebody who didn't feel like she was pretty and confident to suddenly being the girl that my crush literally thought I was the hottest one, you know?
1, 2, 3.
What's up everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, the spiritual bad bitch. My name is Anila Sita. Today's video is tying in with divine feminine secrets, and it's particularly around sex appeal. The reason why this whole conversation even came into my mind is because I had a friend recently who asked me, how do I radiate such sexual energy, particularly through my Instagram? I'd never really noticed that I was radiating that energy. To me, I just am who I am, and it's not really a thing of like, oh, I'm trying to be sexy. But when she asked me this and opened up about her own struggles and kind of told me that she doesn't know how to feel sexy, particularly when she's around men, it kind of made me dig deeper and figure out, what is it that makes a woman sexy, and how can I sort of share that in a video to people? Like, the realizations I had around sex appeal will definitely change your life. I had my realizations literally confirmed by a day here recently where I had a private lesson by a professional stripper with some friends of mine. And the reason why we did this was exactly to explore our sexuality, to learn about how to give a proper lap dance. So I want to now show you the footage of this day and the lap dance that the stripper gave us, so that kind of like analyze and look into what it means to be a sexy woman. All right, and I know you're waiting for the answer, but hold on, I promise it's gonna be a good one. So annoyingly, YouTube took down my video that I uploaded the first time. Now this is me saying that the footage of the lap dance was probably the reason why my video got taken down. But you know, I got you guys because of this comment of this beautiful angel over here. She recommended to make an email list for uncensored content. The link to my email list is gonna be in the description box. The moment you subscribe, you literally will get the link straight away to the lap dance, and I'm giving you like the whole lap dance, all the footage from that day. I actually cut out a lot of it because of the fact that it was on a YouTube video before, but since we're doing uncensored shit now, you will see the full lap dance of the stripper. I just want to say one thing so that this video makes sense if you continue watching it now. Basically, the stripper walked in and told us how gross she felt in her body, and then yet she put on this insane performance. Like, when you watch the lap dance, you'll know what I'm talking about. She looks hot as fuck and she looks so confident, and I literally was like, what the fuck? Like, what about the times when I was feeling insecure in my life, and yet it's like confidence is just a show you put on, you know? So just continue to watch the rest of the video to still gain like knowledge on this whole topic, but if you want to see the lap dance, it will be in the description box. So yeah, that's that. Love you. I thought it was so confusing that somebody who says that thing walking into the room like, oh, I feel gross in myself, can put on a show like that. It really made me see that, holy shit, to be under the influence of that feminine touch and that feminine gaze is hypnotizing. And it's also that what made it hot when I was receiving her lap dance wasn't the specific moves she was doing of being like a skilled, I don't know, dancer. It was the little things here and there that she was doing that were seducing me, you know, looking into my eyes and touching me in certain ways and moving very slowly, but emanating an energy of confidence and like, I'm hot and nobody can tell me otherwise. So the simple answer of how to be sexy is confidence. And I know it's like so cliche, and you were like, bitch, I can't believe I clicked on this fucking video to just hear that being sexy means being confident. But let me give you more information. I realized, like, after this conversation that I had with my friend and of her asking me, how do you emanate that sexual energy and how can she tap into it? The answer wasn't to tell her, you know, to post pictures of her body the way that I like to, or to wear clothing like the way that I like to wear clothing, but rather that it's that I am confident about what I'm doing and who I am, and that's what's actually sexy. Same way that everybody is gonna find something different sexy. A book that I read ages ago said something like, a woman who's trying to be sexy is not sexy. She just is sexy because she is. And it's kind of tying into this whole thing that it really stems from a place of confidence. I know it's easy for me to talk right now, like having a full face of makeup and my hair done and earrings and wearing like sexy clothing, but trust me, like even when I am without makeup and my hair is messy, I still feel like I am sexy because I feel confident in myself as a person and I find myself beautiful. And that's where it comes down to like really asking yourself, what do you find empowering and beautiful in others? And how can you put that on yourself? Because sometimes it's difficult to ask ourselves to be like confident or to tap into our sexuality when we don't even know what that means. Because like I said, for you, being sexy could mean something different than to me. I find it so empowering when I see women wear whatever the fuck they want to wear, whether that may be showing off their figures or just a style that is very unique, that clearly makes heads turn, but they don't give a shit because they're just being themselves unapologetically. There's also some women that find that showing your body is not sexy. Some women find that that's too much. And I will say though, with this belief system, because I used to have this belief as well, that I found showing too much skin could be too much and it's not elegant. But the question is if you have this belief out of your wounds or genuinely like from a place of this is my own opinion and this is what I believe. Because I was growing up in an environment that really kind of suppressed women and didn't make me feel like I could wear what I want to wear without being slut shamed. So naturally when you grow up around that, you kind of develop internalized misogyny that makes you therefore judge other women when they're doing stuff. But really deep down, if you're judging other women what they're wearing, that's just a judgment that you're carrying towards yourself. Because I used to have this. I used to judge women for the sexy clothing they were wearing because deep down I wanted to do that. So if you're in a healed place with yourself and you genuinely say, oh, I don't like showing my figure, then that's a different story. But then you don't judge other women either if they're doing it. Do you know where I'm going with this? So it's all about figuring out what it means for you to be sexy. And now about what I was saying, that being sexy boils down to confidence. I feel that confidence is almost like putting on a show to the world. It's a bit of putting on a show to the world, but it's also a bit of being unapologetic and learning to own and accept every part of yourself. There's this clip that was going around on TikTok, and I'm pretty sure if you have TikTok, you've probably seen it, where Rihanna says something. I'm gonna insert the clip.
What do you do on those days that you don't feel that confident or fearless or powerful like you did out there?
Pretend.
Fake it?
Yeah.
Until we make it?
I mean, why not? It's either that or cry myself to sleep. Who wants to do that?
It's very clear to me that confidence is truly a faking it kind of show thing. Even the most confident people that you see, don't be misled thinking that they are feeling that way every day. I also have a lot of days where I'm really low on my self-worth, and you know, it's about embracing those parts of yourself too, the moments where you do feel like shit, but that when it comes down to like being around people or being in situations where you want to show up as confident, you simply fake it. You pretend that you are, and you act as this persona that is confident when really you might not feel that way deep down. Because the thing is, when you start doing this, it's like even a manifestation thing, that the more you fake it, your muscles in your brain get used to kind of doing that, and you get used to showing up in that way, and it naturally kind of makes you confident. Another thing I want to say, the reason why some people want to be sexy is because they want to feel around the opposite sex like they are desired. So now I have some questions for you that you should ask yourself if you don't feel sexy around men, for instance. What parts of yourself are you hiding because you think they are not sexy? Because like I said, sexiness comes from confidence, and confidence is owning every part of you. So if you're hiding stuff because you don't think it's good, this is like a subconscious energy that people can pick up on. I'm somebody, I get nervous around guys a lot of the time. So what I would do is I would just laugh. I would use like my awkwardness almost as like a thing that I can lean on and just laugh about it, even if I feel awkward. It's kind of boiling down to the thing of how can you turn shame into confidence? Like, instead of making yourself upset over the things that you don't like about yourself, how can you learn to accept those and show up in a way where it's like lighthearted and you're not taking shit so seriously and you're not taking yourself so seriously? You have to first understand what are your insecurities and fears and identifying those, but staring them right in the face. There's an exercise that I do when I start getting insecure about a relationship I'm in with a guy, or insecurities in general, something I'm trying to achieve but I don't believe in myself. I take out a piece of paper and I literally write down the worst case scenario and all the negative stories that say my demons are telling me, which would be things like people think you're weird because this and that, or I'm not pretty enough for this person, I'm not good enough for this person. Literally write down what your inner demons are saying, and when you see it on paper, you can kind of look at it and go, shit, well, that's not fucking true, because really and truly nobody cares about you as much as you think they do. You know, when we think that everybody thinks we're weird and everybody hates us when we walk into the room, most of the time people are so caught up in their own shit they don't have time to think about you that way. Why are you telling yourself those stories? That's why I'm saying you have to first identify what are the things that you don't like about yourself and how can you learn to accept those. But you can't learn to acknowledge or accept something that you don't know is there, you know? What stories are you telling yourself about your looks and your confidence? Like, hold on for a second, because I want to tell you a story of how I used to be and how fucking desperate I was when I was a teenager, and how I did not feel confident, how I did not love myself at all, and kind of like the journey to where I'm at right now. So 2 more questions I have for you are, how hot do you think you are? Why do you think you are hot? Or why do you think that you are not hot? And really looking at the stories that come out. Because again, being sexy, being hot, it all boils down to confidence. Remember asking one of my best friends, who's very confident as well, what makes her so confident? What's her secret? And she was like, well, it's when I stopped attaching my worth to my looks, because looks are something that always changes, and I attached it to my light. And I was like, damn, that is what I fucking needed to hear, because it's so true. We all have a light, and it's about recognizing that it's there and choosing to focus on that more than the negative stories and parts of ourselves, you know? So now I want to tell you what made me glow up into confidence through years of being very desperate and insecure. I'm gonna tell you the story of how I ended up making out with people for the first time in my life when I was 15. I've never fucking shared the story anywhere, and it's kind of embarrassing to me, but I'm sharing it for the sake of making you feel better, okay? When I was in high school, I was in a school in Monaco in the south of France. I was 14 actually. I was 14, not 15. And I was so desperate for male validation. It felt like all the other girls in my grade always got more attention, but I never did. And I was starting to learn how to do my makeup, starting to step into, I guess, the feminine qualities of myself and learning to feel pretty. But yet I didn't feel pretty, and I saw how, oh my god, why are these guys always into all these other girls but not me? And so one time then I ended up getting involved with, I would say, kind of the popular girls, and they ended up inviting me to this party, and this was also my first few experiences drinking alcohol. And at this party, it was a couple of guys there and a couple of girls. I was so drunk, I ended up making out with, it was the first night I've ever made out with anybody. I made out with 2 guys and I think 2 or 3 girls, or 2 girls. I was very drunk. I remember, this is so awkward sharing this on YouTube. I remember the second guy that I made out with, I was so desperate to be liked by him that I remember literally asking him, do you think I'm pretty? And then he kind of laughed and was like, yeah, of course I think you're pretty. And then I was like, well, why do you never talk to me? Like, why do you talk to all these other girls? And oh my god, I just felt so insecure in myself that I felt the need. And this is another thing, when you're confident, you don't fucking show up feeling the need to ask people if you're pretty or if you're good, because it's like that's what confidence is understanding that you are pretty, you are good enough, and you are worthy. So when you know that in yourself, that truth, you don't radiate an energy of even going into situations that make you want to ask those questions. But clearly that experience happened to me because I was learning to recognize that my self-worth comes from within. But now I want to share with you my glow up journey after that. I kind of already touched on this in a video about glowing up with subliminals that I made a while ago, but I'm gonna share the stuff that I did not share in that video. So essentially, my mom always said to me when I was feeling insecure, she would ask me, "Are you working out?" And I would always be like, Mom, like, that's not gonna change anything if I fucking work out. I don't feel confident in myself. Like, how is it gonna change anything? But actually, my mom had a very good point, and this is how my whole glow up journey started, I feel, is when I began to work out regularly. For those who don't work out, take my advice and fucking start working out. It's a habit that you should get into anyways for your health, you know, like, you're gonna live longer probably if you take care of yourself that way. But the reason why this really ties into feeling confident and sexy is when you work out regularly, no matter what the bodily changes are that go on, because that's a bonus that you feel your body's changing and you look at yourself, damn, I'm hot, you know, but it's the signal it sends to your subconscious that you care about yourself and you're willing to take care of your body. So when I was 15, I started running every morning. It really made my body transform, lost a lot of weight, I became a lot more confident. I started getting an energy of really feeling like I'm hot shit and I'm irresistible. And it's funny because when I started embodying those mental beliefs, it shifted the physical. I really started radiating an energy where men started to come my way, and I moved schools as well. I left the school in Monaco in France, and I ended up going to a boarding school in Switzerland, and that's where I feel like my whole glow up journey kind of started. I started having my first experiences with guys. I started, you know, you have to understand, from somebody who was at a place of like begging guys to tell her that she's pretty, I ended up being in situations where I would ask my friends about, say, like a guy that I like, can you please figure out who he thinks are the hottest girls in his mind? Ask him for like a ranking. My friend asked this one guy, I remember this very vividly, and she was like, who do you find the hottest girls? And he goes, number one, he says my name, and then all these other girls. And I was literally like, you know, that was crazy for me. That was a real just change of being somebody who didn't feel like she was pretty and confident to suddenly being the girl that my crush literally thought I was the hottest one, you know? This shit that I'm talking about, it works. And I think the reason why, for my friend, I was even just thinking about her and why does she not feel sexy? Because I think she's beautiful. And then I realized it's because deep down she doesn't feel beautiful in her skin. That's an inside job. A man is gonna make you feel good about yourself, because if you don't feel good about yourself, a man is gonna compliment you, oh, you're so pretty, and you're gonna be like, bitch, what? No, I'm not. And that's not sexy at all. Fucking own that shit. And when somebody makes you a compliment, say thank you and put a fat smile on your face and be grateful for that, even if you don't feel that way in yourself. It's again like faking it, even if you don't see it in yourself. And you will see this confirmed so many times when you watch celebrities even. Some of them aren't physically the most attractive always, but it's their fucking aura, their confidence that makes them emanate such a hot, sexy energy. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I'm trying to go with this whole video is that really what being sexy is, it's being confident about who you are and owning every part of yourself, whatever that may be and however that looks for you. Because again, like I said, being sexy is going to look different for every person, but it's just owning what you have and loving yourself fully. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it resonated. I hope that it made you feel more confident, more sexy, whatever the case may be. Anyways, sending so much love.